Hello and welcome back to the Butterfly Mansion podcast. I'm your lovely host, Gar Champion. And today we are on Volume 3 of Demon Slayer, or Kimetsu no Yaiba. There's nothing I really want to recap here, so we're just going to go right into my intro. Welcome to the Butterfly Mansion, a place of healing, training, and is a nice peaceful place to read some manga. Hi, I'm Gar Champion, the podcast Hashra. In this podcast series, I'll be breaking down Demon Slayer, one book at a time, until the series is completed. Things to expect in each episode is a detailed breakdown of each chapter and then commentary on the subject material. If at any point in time you enjoy this podcast, feel free to leave a like or subscribe. All right, welcome back, everybody. We are on the third episode of the podcast, which means the third volume of the Demon Slayer manga. Here on the physical copy here, we have Tanjiro on the cover with another boy who seems familiar, if you remember from the final selection. He has yellow hair and a yellow haori with triangles on it. We flip through the first pages, we get some more character breakdowns, explain what blood demon arts are, the origins of demons. And in Volume 3, we will cover chapters 17 through 25. Chapter 17, Arrow Demon. We get Yushiro yelling, "Be careful, don't let your guard down even a little. If they really are in the 12 Kizuki, at the very least, they're stronger than the demons you've faced before." Tanjiro replying, "I get it, I'll keep my guard up. I'll do my best." Yushiro grabs Tamio. "Lady Tamio, we could use this diversion to flee." She gives him a scared look, then a close-up of Yushiro. Heh, just kidding. We get a close-up of Yahaba, blocking Nezuko's kick. And the only thing he's mad about is that there's dirt being kicked up on his outfit. And then flings Nezuko away. We get Susumaru regrowing her arms back, and Tanjiro even commenting on how fast she can regenerate, and that they are much faster than those of the final selection. Meanwhile, Yahaba's deflection of Nezuko flings her right into Tanjiro. Susumaru then throws one of the balls, and they dodge. We get Yushiro yelling commands. "Demon Hunter, you take out the arrow guy. We'll face the ball girl with your sister." Tanjiro tells Nezuko not to overdo it, and they go their separate ways. Nezuko getting a flashback of her mother and one of her younger siblings. And then she gets the motivation. And then Tanjiro reminds himself that he needs to get some blood so that way they can get the medicine made as soon as possible. Tanjiro approaching Yahaba. He can see the opening thread, and then Yahaba saying, "You're a dirty child. Stay away from me." Tanjiro's thread disappears. All of a sudden, there's an arrow underneath Tanjiro and pulls Tanjiro away from a finishing blow on Yahaba. He's then flung into a tree and then all over the place. We see a close-up of Yahaba's hand with the eye closing shut. All of a sudden, Tanjiro gets flung up in the air, and as he's descending, he's trying to think of a water form that will lessen his blow. 8th form, waterfall basin, and still lands on his face. Yahaba saying to Susumaru, "Isn't that one over there Tamio, the runaway? She'll make a fine present." An excited Yahaba, "Really?" and continues to throw the balls. Nezuko approaching, tries to kick it, and Tamio yelling, "No, you mustn't kick it." We get a big close-up panel of Nezuko attempting to kick the ball, and her leg being severed. While down, Susumaru comes up and kicks Nezuko. She seems to be enjoying herself by saying, "This is fun, this is fun. Kamari is too good. Wouldn't it be good to take back 4 heads?" Dusting his outfit off. No, just 2. The Demon Hunter and the Runaways, implying that they should only take Tanjiro and Tamio, and that they don't need the other 2. Tamio rushes over to Nezuko and notices that her blood is regenerating slowly. She pulls out a syringe and says, "This drug will make your leg heal quickly." Tanjiro, in a little bit of self-doubt, "What should I do? I can't afford to lose. But even if I could see the opening thread, he's so hard to hit. A technique, maybe? But there's no point unless I can land a solid hit. Even if I'm slightly off, the technique won't have enough force. He'll use the power of the arrows to change the course of my sword. And I'm sorry, those eyes in his hands are very gross." And then we get another close-up of the eye in his hand blinking. Then a barrage of arrows going towards Tanjiro. The speed of the arrows are very fast, and the arrows don't disappear until they hit me. A katana does not cut them. And then the moment my blade touches it, it sends me flying in the arrow's direction. We get Yahaba saying, "Everything goes in the direction I want. Your arm will twist and rip off." Tanjiro jumps and spins in the direction of the arrow, and then his haori comes off. That monkey, he spun in the same direction as the Kuketsu arrow. After some thoughts from Tanjiro, he realizes that he needs to apply his technique. And just as the arrows are coming towards him, he winds up and twists. Whirlpool, flow. And the arrows start flowing in the direction of his sword. The hand in Yahaba's eye blinks again. 2nd form, improved lateral water wheel. And then we see the arrows being directed and guided with his slash and hits Yahaba. And that is the end of chapter 17. This chapter was basically all battling, so hopefully you guys feel that I did a decent job at trying to describe everything visually that's going on, since you obviously can't see the panels. So if I'm doing a decent job, let me know in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. Or if you guys have any other thoughts on things I should try to do, I'm perfectly open for critiques. I just want to make it a better viewer experience for everybody listening. And plus, there's going to be a lot more battles going on in the series. So if I can improve it now, then future episodes will be better. So there was one word that stuck out to me while I was reading this, and it is koketsu. And I looked that up, and it means jaws of death or a dangerous place. So this comes from Yahaba's koketsu arrows. This kind of ties in because it implies that his arrows will make you go somewhere unwanted and cause you harm, which perfectly fits his blood demon art. In this chapter 2, we get Yushiro displaying good battle tactics and strategy, dividing and delegating people on who fights who. We also learn that some of the breathing techniques can be manipulated in some way, with how Tanjiro states second form, improved lateral water wheel. So the water wheel technique, as far as it's been shown so far, are vertical swings, where the improved water wheel that he used, it was horizontal, so left to right, right to left. This chapter also gives a lot of info on Yahaba, between his abilities, his personality. So we'll talk about Yahaba's personality first. He really does not like to get dirty, saying multiple times that his clothes are getting dirty. And that kind of ties in with his blood demon art. He's not really meant to be like a tank, so to speak, on the front lines. He's more of like a ranged fighter. The more fighting that gets done far away, the less dirty he's going to get. Therefore, he's happy, and he does not like physical confrontation. Yahaba isn't really depicted on having a lot of physical strength, but he does have enough strength to at least block Nezuko's kick and push her across the courtyard. With his arrows, he can change the direction at will, and once they touch his desired target, that target then goes in the direction of his arrows. The arrows are also shown to dissipate. He is not shown to have any limits on how many arrows that he can summon. But the most we've seen him do at once is 7. When it comes to Susumaru's regeneration, Tanjiro states that it is faster than those at the final selection. She was able to regenerate faster than the hand demon, who supposedly killed more humans than the swamp demon at over 50 people. It goes to show that the amount you kill isn't nearly as significant as getting more blood from Muzan. It also appears that blood demon arts can be a big contributor on how strong a demon is, regardless of the kill count or Muzan's blood. The swamp demon was harder to deal with than the hand demon, and he consumed way less people. Susumaru is powerful enough to completely sever a limb with one throw, and seems to not be as useful without the pairing of Yahaba being able to control the direction of her balls. And kind of speaking of their pairing, with Muzan being afraid of seeing something as simple as a certain pair of earrings, this must have put him in a bind, because demons are shown not to work together. So he was being more cautious by pairing these two together. Chapter 18, The Curse. Very first panel of the chapter, we see a beheaded Yahaba. We get Tanjiro stating that Whirlpool was done out of water, so the force was usually weaker. But his attack power was increased with the arrows. As Yahaba's head falls, "You no good, dirty bastard. If I'd only brought back your head, he'd have recognized my value. I'll never forgive you, not ever, ever. Plus, you got dirt on my face. I will crush you." All of a sudden, we see a bunch of arrows going through Tanjiro. It's really hard to see how many arrows are actually going through him, but I'm guessing around 8. Tanjiro realizing that this is his last-ditch effort, and he's going to take him out anyway. Tanjiro being yanked away and realizes that this is his strongest attack yet, as he's heading towards a brick wall. 4th form, Striking Tide, going in an upward direction with so much force that he cannot swing his katana. Striking Tide, Water Wheel, Drop Ripple Thrust, Waterfall Basin, Water Surface Slash, and then crashes. Tanjiro thinking, I've never done back-to-back techniques like this before. It feels like my arms are tearing off. How many more times? I don't think I can keep up with the techniques. Waterfall Basin, Striking Tide, Water Wheel, and then a large panel, Whirlpool, and crashes to the ground. Wheezing. Nezuko, Tameo, Yushiro, gasping, huffing, with broken ribs and a leg. Too tired to even get up or grab his sword. Realizing he has to get up, and there are still demons around. He bites his katana like Zoro and starts crawling. Then we get a close-up of a ball flying towards Susumaru, and she catches it, realizing that there was much force behind that throw. Did I say throw? It was actually a kick. Nezuko kicked the ball back with her newly regenerated leg. It appears that Tameo's drug has worked, and she is now stronger. And she started kicking these balls back without losing any of her limbs. And next thing you know, they start kicking the balls back and forth at each other. Susumaru, angered, okay, no more Kamari, and launches a very powerful attack towards Nezuko. Nezuko holding back the resistance, and then sends it flying back, whizzing right past Susumaru's head, and goes through the wall behind her. Yushiro saying, Lady Tameo, this, then interrupted by Tameo. The drug I used was just a recovery agent for demons. It does not have the effect of strengthening the body. This is Nezuko's strength. She's growing stronger on her own without eating any human flesh. But her opponent is even stronger. If she attacks at full strength, Nezuko will surely fall. I must do something. An angered Susumaru, this time I'll throw the ball with my full strength. Tamio intervenes. Girl of the 12 Kizuki, do you know the truth about Kabutsuji? This leaves her trembling and reacts, what would you know about it? You're just a runaway. Tamio replying, that man is always terrified of something. He is nothing more than a coward. Screaming back, be quiet, you witch. Shut your mouth. Do you not know the reason that demons are forbidden to group up? Because we would attack and eat each other. Except that's not true. He tells you that to manipulate you. He's afraid of demons teaming up and attacking him. He's afraid of you. Susumaru freaking out. Shut up, shut up, shut up. He isn't that weak. His abilities are fearsome. He's stronger than anyone. Yushio realizing that Lady Tamio is using an ability. Susumaru yelling, Kabutsuji is? Realizing that she's made a mistake, her face goes blank and puts her hand against her mouth. Lady Tamio, magical aroma of daylight. Then we get some narration, which I will do for you. Magical aroma of daylight is like a truth serum. It subdues brain functions, so stating falsehoods or keeping secrets becomes impossible. Tamio saying, you said his name, thus triggering the curse. I pity you, but I had no choice. And here we get Susumaru panicking. Please forgive me, please forgive me, please forgive me. All of a sudden, she's kneeling, and then a bunch of arms come out of her body. Whoa, that was a chapter. So right off the bat, I'm going to start with Tanjiro taking out Yahaba, therefore adding to his kill count, which is now 10 demons. The hand demon and 7 others at the final selection. The swamp demon makes 9, and then now Yahaba, making 10. During Yahaba's final attack, Tanjiro uses various techniques all back to back, and this completely exhausts him. This is something to note because he has not been shown using multiple techniques in a row like that simultaneously, and we'll see how this compares to other future fights. We get some context from Tamio saying how impressive Nezuko's willpower is. She's gaining all this immense strength on her own without consuming human flesh. And this is shown with her fight with Susumaru, as before she went to kick a ball, lost her leg. And after the healing drug from Tamio, she healed, grew in strength, and is now able to go head to head with Susumaru. We also get some confirmation from Tamio that Muzan is afraid of demons teaming up, not to take out each other, but to take out him. We also get to see another blood demon art from Lady Tamio, magical aroma of daylight, which is basically a truth serum. It shuts down brain function, and it keeps secrets being held impossible. It's a powerful ability, and luckily, it's being used in the correct hands. Could you imagine if I used that on this podcast and asked you guys, hey, are you subscribed? And you all said no? That'd be embarrassing. So I'd make sure you guys are subscribed if you do enjoy this podcast. Chapter 19, Together Forever. The hand that comes out of Susumaru's mouth grabs her head and squashes it. Tanjiro, in shock. Tamio can't even stand to see the sight and closes her eyes and looks away. Yushiro, terrified. Nezuko, clueless. Tamio walks up to the body and sees an eyeball on the ground. And Tanjiro's like, is she dead? Tamio responds, she will be soon. It's the curse. Kabutsuji's cells remain in the body to destroy the flesh. Basically, fighting between demons is meaningless. It is impossible to strike a fatal blow, unless it's done by sunlight or the katana of a demon slayer. However, Kabutsuji can destroy a demon's cells. Yushiro rushes over to Tanjiro and puts a cloth over his mouth. Pray to Lady Tamio's power, or you'll die too. She is not one of the 12 Kizuki. And we get a very shocked look from Tanjiro. The numbers of the 12 Kizuki are engraved on their eyeballs. Her eyes are not marked. The other one is not of the 12 Kizuki either. He was too weak. Tanjiro, in disbelief. Too weak? Seriously? She bends down to the flesh and extracts some blood, saying that she will tend to Nezuko and apologizes that Nezuko inhaled some of the fumes. We see an angered Yushiro. What dumb demons. Serves him right for threatening Lady Tamio. And then snaps at Tanjiro. Enough already. Hold your own cloth. I don't want to be away from Lady Tamio, not even for a moment. Then we get a very clueless Tanjiro with the cloth on his face on the ground still. Tanjiro gets up and sees the Tamari ball. And then some of her remains say, let's play. Tanjiro feeling for her. She's like a small child, but she's killed so many people. The sunlight comes up and the body disintegrates. She was fooled into believing she was one of the 12 Kizuki and forced to fight. And then Kabutsuji's curse killed her. There was no hope for her. After dying, even her bones disappeared without a trace. Is that the price for taking human life? Kabutsuji, he mistreats even those who admire him. He is undeniably a true demon. Tanjiro descends towards Tamio's basement, and once he gets down, Nezuko runs right to him. and then walks over and hugs Tamio. And then we see a very jealous and shocked looking Yushiro. And then Nezuko reaches over and pats Yushiro on the head a couple times. And then Tamio says, Nezuko has been this way for a little while. Is it normal? Tanjiro replies, it's all right. She probably thinks of you two as part of our family. And Tamio confused, but doesn't the hypnosis placed on Nezuko only make humans look like family? But we're demons. Yushiro starting to get furious with the patting. Tanjiro saying, but Nezuko sees you as humans. That's not why she tried to protect you. I didn't like putting her under hypnosis, so I'm glad she still seems to have her own. And then we get Tamio start to cry. She thanks Nezuko. We get a small flashback from Yushiro. Do you want to live? Truly. Do you want to live even if you cease to be human? As a human, you will probably lose your life to disease. But to stop being human is even harder. Cuts back to real time and we see the lady that was attacked in the city and the husband who was turned into a demon. Tamio stating, we are leaving this city. We came too close to Kabutsuji. If we don't hide ourselves soon, it will become dangerous for us. Besides, although we are well hidden, as a doctor, I dealt with humans, and sooner or later, someone will notice that we are demons. Children and the elderly are particularly sharp. Tanjiro, may we take care of Nezuko. Tanjiro confused. I can't say she will definitely be safe, but the danger will be less than if she went into battle with you. And we get Yushiro thinking, no. Tanjiro's starting to be convinced that he should leave her, and then his hand is grabbed by Nezuko. He looks over at her with a determined face and tightens her grip. Thank you for the offer, but we'll continue to travel together. We are not going to split up. Never again. Showing a panel of his deceased family all together. After they say their goodbyes and that they're going to erase all traces of their presence, they say that he should too. And then Yushiro saying, Tanjiro, your sister is beautiful. The next panel shows a very happy Tanjiro. And then the next panel is not so happy. Southeast, 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 southeast. Your next goal is to the southeast, says Tanjiro's crow. And then a very disturbed Tanjiro from getting yelled at in the ear. But the screaming does not end there. Next thing you know, we hear a bunch of pleas. Please, 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 marry me. I don't know when I'll die, but I want you to marry me, please. Tanjiro's like, what the? And then the chapter ends. So probably the most important thing we learned from this chapter is that we get confirmation that there is a third way that a demon can die outside sunlight and a demon slayer's katana. And that is through Muzan cells that are in every demon. And that he can choose to kill a demon at any point in time if they break their curse. Another very important moment that happened is when Nezuko was hugging Tamio and then patting Yushiro on the head as well. We know that Nezuko was put under a hypnosis from Urokodaki, saying that humans are family, demons are bad. But here we see her hugging a demon. This is very important because it is showing her making her own decisions based on the better judgment. She is able to see through the fact that they are demons and know their true intentions and that they are kind-hearted people. And with all the help that they gave to Nezuko, she sees them as family, just like she sees Urokodaki. Another happy and wholesome panel that is shown is when Yushiro is telling Tanjiro that Nezuko is beautiful. This is impactful because he called her a hag previously and got Tanjiro all worked up. But after seeing Nezuko treat them like family and even bringing out a side of Tamio that he has never seen before, you can expect that he is happy with the joy that Nezuko has brought Tamio in those moments, showing growth in him as a character. Chapter 20, ZENITSU AGATSUMA. Oh, thank God. With that title, we can imply that the boy screaming at this girl, his name is ZENITSU. Because if you've seen previous episodes, you'll know that I don't like referring to a character that is unnamed. We see a panicking sparrow flying over to Tanjiro and chirping. Tanjiro replying, okay, I get it. I'll do something. And sparrow in hand seeing some relief. This yellow-haired boy, help me, marry me. And then it's grabbed by Tanjiro. What are you doing in the middle of the road? Can't you see this girl doesn't like it? And quit upsetting your sparrow. Zenitsu realizing, wait, that's a corp uniform. You were at the final selection. Tanjiro angrily replies, I don't know anyone like you, trust me. Zenitsu screaming back, but we've met. The problem is your memory. Tanjiro directing his attention to the girl, everything is okay now, go on home. And she says thank you. And then we get Zenitsu upset, saying, hey, that girl likes me, she's gonna marry me. She turns around and smacks him in the face and starts beating him up. Tanjiro has to pull her away and Zenitsu crying. She screams back, when did I ever say that I liked you? You were crouched at the side of the road. You look sick, so I asked if you were all right. Startled, Zenitsu replies, you didn't come over because you thought you might like me? She snaps back, I'm already engaged to someone, so definitely not. If you're healthy enough to harass me, you're fine. Goodbye. Then we get Zenitsu angry at Tanjiro. Why did you interfere? And why are you looking at me like that? Why are you staring at me like I'm some pitiful creature? Stop it. I'm holding you responsible for this. It's all your fault I'm not getting married. Say something. Tanjiro's still looking confused. I'm gonna die soon on my next job. I'm incredibly weak. Give me a break. Protect me. Protect me until I get married. Crying. Tanjiro snaps back. Let's start with introductions. My name is Tanjiro Kamado. Kneeling on the ground still. My name is Zenitsu Agatsuma. Help me, Tanjiro. Tanjiro calling him out. What's with this help me stuff? Didn't you become a swordsman? Why are you such a weakling? He responds, a woman tricked me and put me in deep debt. My trainer is an old man who took on that debt. Life became an endless hell of training. It was so bad I wanted to die. And now here he is, on all four limbs, but stomach facing upwards. I thought I'd die at final selection, but I was unlucky, and I survived. Now every day for the rest of my life will be hell. I'm so scared and terrified. Yeah, what can I do? Help me. Tanjiro getting back down, seeing he's panicked. There, let it all out. And he's crying. Then we get a panel of Tanjiro's crow and his sparrow talking. And then Tanjiro saying to him, I understand how you feel, but don't upset your sparrow. While Zenitsu is eating Tanjiro's rice bowl. And responds, the sparrow is upset? How do you know? Then Tanjiro states, well, it said that you are always like this, so it doesn't want to rush you off to a job. Besides bothering that girl, apparently you also snore loudly. And then points at the sparrow, it's talking. Zenitsu quickly responds, talking? You understand bird language? No way, you must be putting me on. Tanjiro's crow interrupts, quickly, Tanjiro, Zenitsu, run! Zenitsu falls to the ground. A talking crow. Whew, I'm glad I'm day recording because Zenitsu is a very loud character. Shout out to Alex Lee for doing a fantastic job voice acting him. We get some landscape panels of a mountain and then a mansion in the woods and then Tanjiro and Zenitsu in front of the mansion. Then we get a close-up of Tanjiro saying, I smell blood and also something I've never smelled before. And then Zenitsu, huh? Smell? What smell? What about the sounds? And are we going to work together on this? Then Tanjiro, confused, sound? Then out of the brush, we see two kids jump up, scared. Wondering what happened, Tanjiro asks, what are you two doing in a place like this? And the boy with the blank stare. Tanjiro then gets Zenitsu's sparrow, saying, ta-da, I pulled a sparrow out of thin air. Then we get his sparrow hopping and chirping. See, it's cute. The little boy and girl still staring blankly. Tanjiro approaching them, did something happen here? Is this your house? They replying, no, it's a house of monsters. It took my older brother. We were out walking at night, and without even looking at us, it took my brother. And he is in that house. Tanjiro saying, wow. And you two followed? Wow, I'm impressed. And the courageous little boy, he was hurt, so we followed his spilled blood. And Tanjiro says, don't worry, I'll beat that bad guy and save your brother. We get Zenitsu interrupting, Tanjiro, what is that sound? It's starting to bug me, and it won't stop. It's like a tazumi, which is a type of Japanese drum. Then all of a sudden we hear a menacing da-dung. And then all of a sudden a man flies up from the upper floor and crashes into the ground head first. In shock, Tanjiro quickly says, don't look, and covers the kids' faces. And then rushes over to check in on the person. Tanjiro seeing his wounds are deep. And this boy replying, I got out. I'm outside, but I'm dying. Tanjiro hugs him. And then we hear some more drums. And then we see a very extreme close-up of what appears to be a demon tapping a drum. Dun-dun. All right, so what a crazy chapter. Hopefully all the screaming I did was okay. My voice hurts. I have to drink burners now. One thing we learn is that Tanjiro is able to speak bird language. And this is actually a thing in real life, and it's called Kustili. And here we get yet another display of Tanjiro's experience as an older brother and tending to younger siblings. He's able to kindly calm and entertain the kids. He's able to bring these kids out of complete shock with some fun little magic tricks. He even then instinctively covers the kids' faces as the body's falling out of the upper floor and falls to the ground. So we all know that Tanjiro has a good sense of smell, but we are also kind of shown that Zenitsu seems to have really good hearing and can hear things that Tanjiro does not. Chapter 21, Suzumi Mansion. Tanjiro kneeling over the body. He's dead. He was in great pain. He must have suffered. We get the boy saying, that's not my brother. My brother was wearing an orange kimono. Tanjiro quickly realizing, so there's been several people that have been captured. Apologizing to the man who just died, saying he's going to give him a proper burial later. Zenitsu, let's go. We get a very scared Zenitsu and then start screaming. Then Tanjiro saying, oh, I see. Why are you looking at me with such disdain and pity, almost like I'm not here at all? I'll go. We get a very menacing Tanjiro. I don't want to force you. And then we get Zenitsu squealing, I'll go. Tanjiro walks over to the boy and girl and drops the box on the ground, saying, while I'm gone, stay close to this box. It will protect you if anything happens. And then menacingly walks away, with Zenitsu kind of crying in the corner of the pail. Inside the building, Zenitsu's like, Tanjiro, you'll protect me, right? If anything happens, you'll protect me. Then we get a backward shot of Tanjiro. Zenitsu, I'm sorry, but I broke my leg and ribs in my last fight and they haven't healed yet. And then we get a very panicking Zenitsu. What? Broken bones? You can't be hurt. If you're hurt, you can't protect me. And that means I'm gonna die. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? We're gonna die. We're gonna die. Die, 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 die. Broken bones? That's awful. I'm dead or practically dead anyway. Tanjiro smacks Zenitsu. Zenitsu, be quiet. You'll be fine. Then all of a sudden we see Tanjiro looking over and the two kids followed them in, saying, don't follow us in here. Mister, your box is making scratchy noises. Your response, I said to stay near it. That box holds the thing I value most, more important than my life itself. Cuts back to the box, saying, huh? Then we hear dun-dun. And then all of a sudden, they are in a different room. All of a sudden, a doorway appears, Tanjiro with the young girl, and Zenitsu with the boy. Tanjiro realizing that the room changed around us in time with the drum. Tanjiro trying to reassure that they will be fine, and that Zenitsu will protect her brother, and asks what her name is. She replies, Teruko. Replying, oh, what a nice name. And then we hear footsteps walk across the door. And then we get a very ugly looking foot with some very pointy nails. We turn the page and you see a big demon with multiple drums on his body. Clump, clump, as he steps. Tanjiro saying, of all the smells that cling to this mansion, this one is the strongest. This demon has eaten many people. It must be the mansion's lord. We're gonna die, die, die. We're gonna die. Tanjiro isn't here to protect us. Then we get the boy with him walking. Then Zenitsu, of all people, saying, don't be so loud. We gotta get outside. The boy snapping back. All I can think of is running away. Are you only interested in saving yourself? What about my sister? Aren't you embarrassed to always be whining? Why do you even carry a sword at your waist? Then we see blood splurting out of Zenitsu's mouth. Those words really cut. And then him replying, you're right. I'm absolutely useless. No good to anyone. We'd better go outside and call an adult. And then the boy resisting, let me go. Zenitsu yelling at the boy, this isn't the kind of thing that kids like us can handle. Opens the door. This was the entryway. But where did outside go? Maybe this door. Opens up the door to see a shirtless boy with a boar's head. Then we see steam coming out of the nose. Zenitsu screaming, a monster. Dashes around him and starts running down the hallway. Zenitsu pointed at the boy. Hey, are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me like that? Cuts back to Tanjiro and Teruko, holding back their scream. Then Tanjiro saying, the room will move. Don't go into the hall. Slide back and hide. This demon still walking across the doorway. Why? Why does everyone keep sneaking through my house? It's so aggravating. It's my prey. It's my prey. I found it in my territory. Those bastards. Then we get Tanjiro yelling, I'm Tanjiro Kamado, rank Mizunoto, and I'm in the Demon Slayer Corps, and I'm here to kill you. Then we get context from the narrator. The boy can't pull off a surprise attack. He lunges towards the demon, and the demon saying, I found children with Morechi blood, and then quickly snaps his drums as Tanjiro is ready to swing. And then the room changes orientation. Tanjiro stating, the Tatsumi mats are on the wall. The room rotated. That must be this demon's blood demon art. And this whole mansion is this demon's territory. Tanjiro shocked. Another scent, and it's getting closer. And then through the wall, we get the shirtless boar's head boy. Coming through. Coming through. And that is the end of chapter 21. But before we get to chapter 22, and there is a page describing this boar's outfit. So we know this boy is shirtless, carrying two swords, and there is fur around his waist. That is labeled as deer's hair. Move towards his calf area, and there's fur here, and that is labeled as bear hair. And then the supposed mask is boar hair. So we get three different kinds of hides on this person's outfit. We get another good example of Tanjiro's use of smell, because we can see that Tanjiro can quickly decipher that this demon in front of him has the highest concentration of blood compared to all the others. So we see that the demon lord of this mansion, when using his drums, they can change not only the room locations, but the orientations inside them as well. We also see that he is more concerned about finding other demons lurking in his territory that are stealing his prey. And mentioned that there is a kid here, and we will learn more about this here in the next chapter or so. Chapter 22, Rushing Boar. Tanjiro, surprised, who is that? Is he wearing boar hide and wielding Nichiren swords? We then get a shot of this person, shirtless, like stated before, each hand holding serrated blades, and then we see the deer hair around his waist. This person saying, "All right, monster, come die in battle. I want to get stronger and go even higher, so you are my stepping stone." Lunges towards his demon, who is paying no attention to him, hits the drum, and the room rotates. Tanjiro quickly yelling to her, "Hold on to the furniture." The boarhead boy then jumps off Tanjiro, lunges towards the demon again. Then Tanjiro yells, "The demon has supernatural abilities. Stop attacking it so wildly." Again, the demon unfazed, saying, "Aggravating. Insects infesting my house." Rotates the room again, and then the boar's head boy jumps off the girl, saying, "Ha ha 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 ha." The room spun around. What fun. What fun. We then see the boarhead boy's ankle being grabbed and then him thrown off the girl. "Don't go around stepping on people," says Tanjiro. The boar replying, "Who are you?" Tanjiro replying, "What's a big idea stepping on this little girl?" Completely ignoring what he just said. "Ha ha 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 ha. Good, good. Nice throwing move. No one has ever thrown me before," and lunges towards Tanjiro. Confused, why is he rushing at me? Isn't he in the Demon Slayer corpse? And tries to slash them. "My swords bring pain. They aren't like a katana like a little boy uses. I'm so proud of their cutting edges that rip and tear." Tanjiro saying, "Stop. There's a demon over there." The boar replying, "What do I care?" We then get a close-up of the demon hitting another drum. And then a series of slashes go in between Tanjiro and the boar. And then Tanjiro noticing that there are demon slashes in the floor in the time with the drums. Then the drum is hit another time and another series of slashes. And then he starts beating on the drum more and more. And then through observation, Tanjiro starts realizing how his power works. And then all of a sudden, there is another beat of the drum, but this demon did not hit a drum. Tanjiro, realizing this, is kind of confused. What's going on? The demon didn't strike the drum just now. The room smells like a bunch of different demons. Does another demon have a drum? If two, wait, I smell blood. Talking to the girl, "Stay behind me." Walks out and sees another dead body. He goes back in, telling the girl it's okay, and to just face ahead, don't look back. Tanjiro noticing another smell, but the blood smells different from anything I've ever smelled. The amount of blood lost seems small though. They're about to open another door. He opens it and sees a kid with a drum, and he's ready to hit it. Cuts back to Zenitsu panting along with the boy. And then the boy says, "I'm sorry, Zenitsu." And we get Zenitsu snapping back. "You just can't talk all of a sudden like that. You gotta give me some signal. My heart nearly jumped out of my mouth. If that happened, you would have been a murderer. Do you understand that?" Then blindly says sorry. The boy responds, "But it's just, you were sweating and breathing hard and shaking horribly." Zenitsu snapping back, "Cut me some slack. I'm doing my best." The boy replying, "No, I mean, I'm getting worried about you." And then we get Zenitsu quickly saying, "Oh, I'm sorry. But if we talk too much, the demon could find us. So I think we should stay very quiet, don't you think?" Then all of a sudden, creeping out from the floor is a demon. We get a close-up of this four-eyed demon with a very long tongue, saying, "Children, they should taste good." We get a very scared and screaming Zenitsu, "See? A demon! A demon came out." And that is the end of chapter 22. We get a Taisho Whispers panel here of Tanjiro sniffing. And then the author asking, "Can you recognize a Nichiren sword by scent too?" So we get further explanation on some of the drum demon's powers. He can also use a slash attack with a particular drum beat as well. We also get some more context on Tanjiro's sniffing abilities, and that he can smell that there is not much blood loss from someone as well. Which, saying that out loud, I feel stupid even saying this because if there's more blood, so to speak, then it would be more potent. Where if there's very little blood, it's just a very faint sense. So with this kind of context, I guess it's not as stupid because now we can kind of sense, like if something's very faint, then you can assume that is small blood loss. But if something is very potent, then you can assume that there's a larger blood loss. Last thing about Tanjiro and about this chapter is that Tanjiro's observation skills seem to be on point, noticing that the demon hits a different drum and different actions happen, to even the point of realizing that the room changed without him hitting it. Chapter 23. The boar bares its fangs. Zenitsu sleeps. Immediately, we get a very scared and screaming Zenitsu. It says, "Aye, stay back." With context here saying high-pitched, nasally whine, very annoying. I cannot replicate that. Thank you, Alex Lee, for doing that. "Stay away, stop." Continually screaming, "I'm not at all tasty. I'm sure I have terrible aftertaste. Seriously." I can't even say this line without laughing. And this kid is so skinny, he'd be sure to be dry and tasteless. I gotta say, if I were to get eaten by a demon, like I would at least want to be tasty for him. But that almost feels like a diss saying, "Yeah, this kid doesn't taste good." I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts? Would you want to be, if you go out by a demon eating you, would you want to be tasty for him? Would you want to taste like crap? I don't know. I just thought it was funny. This demon replying, "I won't know until I eat you," and then starts extending his tongue. Zenitsu screaming, "What the? What a fast tongue. It just shattered that jug. That's insane. Zenitsu on the ground, and the boy saying, Zenitsu, stand up. Zenitsu replies, it's in my knees. 80% of its fear is in the knees. Leave it to me. Run away, save yourself. The boy saying, I can't do that. Zenitsu crying, I can't believe it. Even though I'm a sniveling coward, what a good kid. I could at least try to save him. It'd be a shame if he never lived past an age that was a single digit. I have to do something. But I'm such a weakling. I don't have the strength to actually protect him. We then see this demon with his head sideways on the floor and feet extending past his hands. I'll slurpy slurp your brains out through your ear. It's so fucking stupid to say. I'm keeping some of this crap in. Oh, this is funny. And then we get complete terror and a blank look from Zenitsu. And then context from the narrator. Zenitsu's brain freezes in a war between fear and sense of responsibility. And then crashes to the floor. And the boy saying, he's asleep? Zenitsu, please wake up. The demon uses its tongue to try to grab them. Then all of a sudden, the tongue is on the floor, and Zenitsu is standing up, putting his hand by the boy. The demon in shock. We see Zenitsu get in a low stance, holding his katana, ready to unsheath it. A very deep exhale. The demon saying, what's that sound? He feels different now. The boy in shock, Zenitsu. We see him reaching further up the sword handle. Thunder breathing, burst form, thunderclap and flash. And then boom, a close-up of the demon with a slash going across his throat. Next panel, Zenitsu past him, and the demon's head falling off. And then Zenitsu is asleep again, waking up. He just died? What? And then looks over at the boy. Shuichi, you didn't somehow. Thank you for saving me. I'll never forget this. You should have told me that you were so strong. Get more context from the narrator. Shuichi was stunned into silence. In addition to seeing a real demon, there was Zenitsu's incredibly fast swordplay. Furthermore, he had never met anyone as dumb as Zenitsu. His confusion would not stop, so he stopped thinking. Zenitsu AGATSUMA's strength manifests only when he sleeps. While awake, his nerves and fear cause him to freeze up so he cannot move. When faced with a life-threatening situation, his nerves and fear grow so extreme that he passes out. Cuts back to the boar. I lost him again. Just when I thought I was about to attack. It's been like this for 3 days. I cannot make any progress in this cramped halls. I'm no good at this. He then comes around a corner with a very large demon saying, you dodge? You're awfully lively for a human. It'll be a treat to carve away your flesh. And then we get a close-up of the mask, beast breathing. The bigger the target, the more rewarding it is to slice it up. He lunges at this demon, and him saying, you're a bold one to charge on me head on, as his hand is getting cut off. The boar saying, die in battle and be my stepping stone. Fang 3, devour. And slices the head, knocks him over with his foot, and bounces off him like nothing happened. Coming through, coming through. Cuts back to the demon with the drums, and the floor creaking. Morechi, Morechi, I must eat more. 50 people, 100 people. I must find and eat more humans with Morechi. Then I can return to the 12 Kizuki. And here we get a close-up of the demon's face with the engraving on his eye, but then an X going across his eyeball. Then we get a page of Taisho whispers and rumors, with the author saying, I hear that Zenitsu's hair used to be black, but he was hiding in a tree during training and got hit by lightning, and then it turned blonde. So as the title of this chapter kind of implied, we get more action from the Boar's Head Boy and Zenitsu. We'll start with the Boar's Head Boy. It has been revealed through his context that he has been in here for 3 days. He displays good reflexes and reaction time, and then kills a demon, adding 1 to his counter. Also wanted to state that he uses beast breathing, Fang 3, devour, to kill this demon. Next, we will talk about Zenitsu. Zenitsu is shown to pass out when his brain reaches a conflict between fear and sense of responsibility. He becomes a completely different person while unconscious, and was able to move at lightning speeds to slash the tongue that was trying to get them, and then beheaded the demon in a single blow, adding 1 to Zenitsu's kill count, and this comes at a cost because he is completely unaware that he did this and credits Shuichi. And at the very end of this chapter, we get some insight on how strong that this drum demon actually is. He keeps repeating the word Morechi. And again, we will kind of cover that term in the next chapter or so. But his ultimate goal is to get back up to the status of the 12 Kizuki, implying that the ranks are not permanent and that if you lose this position, your eye is scratched out. Chapter 24, former member of the 12 Kizuki. I don't normally do this, but this is actually kind of important to the drum demon. On this cover page, there is a back shot of this drum demon with a drum on his back. And the entire time that he's been depicted, there has been no drum on his back. And then we get a flashback of this drum demon. As time passes, I'm eating fewer and fewer humans. Of course, I eat them whenever I can, but I don't see as many as I used to. That's why. Then we get a sharp-dressed man, Kyogai. Why are you looking so thin? You must have lost your appetite. Then all of a sudden, his eye is scratched out. Him begging, please, just wait a little longer. The sharp-dressed man, no, that's enough. You've shown me your limits. I'm stripping you of your number. The more I ate, the stronger I could get. When Kabutsuji saw improvement, I received more blood from him. The power of his blood was incredible. My new strength was incomparable to how I was before. He recognized me as one of the 12 Kizuki, and I continued to ravenously eat people. I thought that I would continue to grow even stronger. I truly believe that. We get Tsurugo saying, Kiyoshi! Startled, he does not hit the drum. And then she runs towards him. And he asks, who is that? And Tanjiro introduces himself. I came to defeat the evil demons. And asks him to show him his wounds and that he did well on his own. And then pulls out a kit. This salve is wonderful. My master gave it to me. And then starts talking about his master to him as he's treating his wounds. Can you tell me what happened here? Kiyoshi hesitating. A monster kidnapped us and was about to eat us. Then another monster came from somewhere and they started fighting. They started fighting over which one would get to eat us. And this panel shows 3 demons. The drum demon, the one with the long tongue that ZENITSU slayed, then the larger one that the boar's head boy slayed. One of them had a drum growing on his body. When one of the others hit him, the drum fell off, so I grabbed it. If I hit the drum, the rooms change, which is how I survived. Then Tanjiro says the demon said something about Morechi. Then he responds, yes, that's right. He calls me Morechi. Then we get Tanjiro's crow. Caw. Morechi means one who has rare blood. That was probably one of the worst crow impressions, so I do apologize. Just trying to be fun here. Tanjiro asks the crow, what does that mean, rare blood? And the bird responds, idiot, humans have different types of blood. One particular type of rare blood is something of a demonic delicacy. Eating one person with Morechi is equal to 50 or 100 ordinary people. Morechi is a feast for demons. A great feast. The 2 kids start to tremble and shake. Tanjiro sniffs what appears to be a dirty foot because that's the next panel. Kyogai is approaching. Tanjiro saying, I'm going to leave the room. And to stay calm, it's okay. That he is going to fight the demons. And that as soon as he leaves the room, hit the drum. And that if you hear someone trying to open the door, hit the drum immediately. Before he knocks on the door, he will say their names. And to hang in there a little bit longer and ask if they can do that. They're both kind of staring at him, implying, no. Then Tanjiro quickly says, very good. Be strong. I'll be back. And then leaves. He lunges towards Kyogai and he starts hitting the drums. The drum on the right shoulder rotates the room to the right, and the left one rotates it to the left. The right leg is a forward rotation, and the left leg is a backward rotation. And the stomach drum is a claw attack. He zigzags back and forth. Wow, that's fast. The speed of the rotation and attack is incredible. Tamio treated my injuries, but I'm not fully healed. In this condition, can I hope to win? These wounds hurt so bad, I can barely stand it. I was in mild pain even while just walking down the road, but when I had pulled ZENITSU away from that girl, it caused me immense pain. I learned putting up with a lot because I'm the oldest. If I'd been the second son, I doubt I would be so resilient. When I brace myself, the fractures grind and I can't generate any strength. I'm scared of that demon's claw attack, and I can't get too close. I'm so wobbly. I'm just afraid of getting within range that will cause me enough pain to make my legs weak, and then I'll get sliced. I'm injured, so I keep imagining bad things. You're a Godaki. Then we get him saying, water can take any form. It is square in a box and round in a bottle, but it's strong enough to break rocks and can flow anywhere. Realizing that water breathing has 10 different forms, and it can fight any opponent. If you're injured, then flow to compensate for that. You can become any shape. The flow never stops. But it's not just my bones, my spirit is broken too. Then he remembers Zenitsu's crying, saying a broken Tanjiro wouldn't do. Focusing on the demon ahead, he tells himself to get a grip. He can do this, so do it. From this point on, even if I feel broken, I'll keep on flowing forward. And then Tanjiro holding the blade in front of him. And that is the end of chapter 24. Let's talk about Kyogai's flashback for a moment. Muzan noticed that Kyogai was not consuming enough demons. Therefore, he stripped him of his rank. He thought that he wasn't taking it as serious and could not get any stronger. Kyogai mentioning that there just hasn't been as many people wandering around here anymore, where his ability seems to be tied to this mansion itself. So it's not like he can go out to the woods and start changing the orientation of the entire world. It kind of is just limited to what is inside this mansion. Kyogai got strong enough from all these people coming up here. It probably got a bad reputation from all these people going missing around this house. And therefore, people don't go around here anymore. So he's kind of victim to his own domain and that he can't use his powers outside of this mansion. We finally get to learn about what Morechi is. And this is a rare blood variant that is equivalent to 50 to 100 regular humans. So my assumption is that this blood is so concentrated with whatever nutrients demons crave inside blood. So we get a glimpse on how Tanjiro is how he is. This is referring to his strength and willpower because he is the eldest son. He even mentioned that if he was not the oldest son, he might not have this motivation, kind of implying that he has to display strength even in times of weakness. And this carried into fights and his everyday life as well. Being a parent, I can kind of understand this a little bit now from a slightly different lens. When I get home from work, I'm tired, I'm beat. I have a kid to take care of. I have a wife to take care of. I have dogs to take care of, a cat. So I got to be strong. I got to maintain my composure. I got to get myself in a mindset where, hey, for the rest of the night, I'm going to be taking care of the dogs. I'm going to be taking care of the kid. So I get into the mindset where, hey, I got to be taking care of others and all this first before myself. And it's comparable to like a dad, because with Tanjiro's absence of a dad, he kind of took the place of the father. So he had to be not only strong as a brother, but also be a strong father figure, all the younger siblings below him. So really, it's just a strong sense of responsibility of taking care of others is kind of how I interpret it. When it comes to water breathing, of what this technique kind of represents, and it represents more so the flowing water and that it can adjust to any obstacle. We get this through some context of Yurikadaki. Chapter 25, Believe in Yourself. Tanjiro getting flown around frantically. I can do this. I know I can. I can get this done. I may have broken bones or whatever, but I can do this. I can fight. I'll show that even broken Tanjiro is incredible. While he continuously dodges the slashes and the rotating room, and he realizes that this mental amp cannot defeat him alone. He has to use his head. Cuts back to Kyogai's flashback. Someone holding a piece of paper saying boring. It's boring. Everything you write is like garbage. There's no beauty. There's no value. There's no greatness. And shows this man dropping a bunch of papers while Kyogai is sitting on the floor with his head down. You should give up on writing. You're wasting your paper and ink. You never go outside during the day anymore, and that's making you a complete bore. You like playing the Suzumi, so do that. But still, only in the house. Even in that, you're not good enough to share it with other people. Steps on his work and walks away. And as he's walking away, he pulls his shirt out and hits the drum on his belly and slashes the person. Cuts back to real time, Kyogai yelling, "Be gone, insects!" And the tempo starts increasing. Tanjiro's surprised that he can drum even faster. And I hope someone will get this reference. He starts hand-boning at full speed. Getting context from Tanjiro, his eyes are spinning. The speed of this rotation, it's an incredible technique. He went from 3 clawed attack to 5. He notices paper with something written on it falling from the floor and avoids stepping on it. And Kyogai notices. And then he realized something when avoiding the paper. How to move his body without pain and how to breathe. The drumming continues. I must breathe and swallow rapidly. That type of breathing will strengthen the muscles I need to move my injured leg. And before each claw attack, there is a moldy smell. Here it comes, the claw attack. Above me. Total concentration, water breathing. 9th form. Splashing water flow turbulent. Kyogai in shock. He's dodging all my attacks. Tanjiro making advancements closer. Of all the movements, the 9th form minimalizes landing time and landing area, making it perfect for this rotating room. It keeps me ready to move in any direction and is well suited for a fight with such uncertain footing. Then as Tanjiro is getting closer to Kyogai, he notices the opening thread. And before he slashes, he says, "Your blood demon art was incredible." And this startles him. And then Tanjiro beheads him. And then with Kyogai's head on the floor, he says, "Boy, tell me, was my blood demon art truly that good?" Tanjiro hesitates. Says, "It absolutely was. But I cannot allow the death of innocent humans." He replies, "I thought so." Before he disintegrates, he takes out a tool and throws it into his body to extract some blood. He just stuck it in and it automatically drew the blood and compliments Yushiro on his skills. And then all of a sudden, a cat appears with a talisman, which is Tamio's cat familiar. Thanks to a spell cast by Yushiro, it is invisible until it meows. And when it meows again, it becomes invisible again. There's also a little backpack on this cat where he puts the blood samples and then it disappears. Kyogai's face half disintegrated. My writing isn't garbage. At the very least, the boy valued it enough that he wouldn't step on it. My blood demon art and my drumming. He admired them and me. Rest in peace, says Tanjiro. Cuts to Tanjiro finding the siblings, and as soon as he opens the door, he gets a bunch of stuff thrown at him and asks, "Why are you doing this?" They say the drum disappeared, so they panicked. So he starts guiding them out, carrying the boy on his back. Then all of a sudden, he can smell Zenitsu and Shuichi, then notices a scent of blood. He rushes out to see the boarhead boy kicking Zenitsu, while Zenitsu is over the box. While Zenitsu is hovering over Tanjiro's box, the boarhead boy saying, "Draw your sword and fight, you coward." They beat up Zenitsu. "Tanjiro, I protected this." because you said it was more important than your own life. And that is the end of Volume 3. And that's if you exclude some of the extras, in which I'm about to read. So we have some bonus comic strips. We have 4 of them: Lost in Translation, Nezuko's Ideal, The Love of Gossip, and The Doctor's Consultation. And I'll kind of read these to you. We get a panel of 2 of Tanjiro's younger siblings asking him, Tanjiro, what kind of girl do you want to marry? We get some inner thought from him saying, what kind of girl? They're both so young. I should give them an easy answer. Something children can understand, maybe. Like traits like an animal or a flower. He then responds, I want someone loyal, like a Shiba dog. The final panel is of the children running to the mom saying, Tanjiro wants to marry a dog. Mom, what should we do? Well, they just clearly misinterpreted that. Nezuko's Ideal. We get one of the siblings asking Nezuko, Sis, what kind of man are you attracted to? She responds, huh? Why are you asking this all of a sudden? And then begging, come on, just tell me. So she's kind of thinking, what kind of man? And she kind of responds, a man who is like a rook and is blushing, then blankly staring, rook. In shogi, which is Japanese chess, the rook can move in any number of squares vertically or horizontally when it enters the opponent's territory. It is promoted to a dragon. So how that translates into a man, I have no idea. But that's just the panel. The Love of Gossip. We get someone yelling, I hear the tempera in a village to the northwest is really great. The Kato family across the river is fighting over who will be their heir. We get Tanjiro's crow saying, Ka, Miyu likes Tadashi, but he likes Yuki. Tanjiro saying, stop repeating everything you hear. Let me sleep. Then the crow saying, Kashida's wife is a good cook. Tanjiro smells sort of weird. And then Tanjiro's like, huh? No way, do I really? So someone must have said that Tanjiro smells weird if he repeats what other people say. Doctor's Consultation. Here we get a panel with Tanjiro, Nezuko, Yushiro, and Tamayo. In some ways, I'm too serious. What should I do? We get Tamayo with blood dripping down her finger. Smell of illusionary blood. Altered nature. Then we get a goofy panel of Tanjiro saying, today my poop looked like a radish. Tamayo in shock. Sorry, I went too far. Then Yushiro saying, Lady Tamayo, you're so beautiful again today. And that is officially the ending of Demon Slayer Volume 3. If you guys made it all the way here to the end, feel free to comment on if you did or not. I would love to hear back from those who are sticking around the entire time. So I just want to say I greatly appreciate you guys continuing to follow the series and look forward to a fun Volume 4 coming here soon. Thanks for listening, watching, however you enjoyed this, and I will see you on the next one. Peace out.